They're not a work of art at all. No. Unless it's art deco, or whatever you want to call it. Because most of the pieces, see, the terracotta is cracked right here. That one's cracked, that one's cracked. See, it was all just pieces that were on the property I put together, and that stuff was all piled up over there and full of kangaroo rats. So I cracked them all open and used them for just coverage to cover up all the spots where the weeds grow through real high. These are your tossing pads. This is 27 feet. This is the kids' center. And that's 27 feet in there, and there's a 37 feet with the pits. And then I got to spray the New Mexico ZSN symbol on that. Again, like that one, because it's not in the direct sunlight. So I got to do that. They're no work of art, but at least I took all the trash out here and made it into, did a Sanford and Son, or the Towers and Watts kind of thing with it. Everything's all recycled stuff that was just sitting out in piles that we could use to help people recreate, so they can come here and you can talk about living the ways of Abraham, so you don't have to dictate and legislate, regulate. You don't have to regulate if you can faithfully deliver yourself from evil. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Yeah. So, yeah, that people, they ask, well, how do you know? Dad asked me that. How do you know you're first cousins with the Marleys and the Parsons? Did you look it up? No. What'd you do? I asked. What if the documentation says it's not true? Like Granny Kramer called herself Kramer all that time in ancient Germany, when calling yourself a Jewish peddler with the ancient archaic things they had laws on hand to abuse people of money. Made no sense whatsoever. Yeah. I don't work for the Mormon Church, and I don't work for Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't work for Pope Leo. I don't work for his bank. What do? I work for people to emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, for none of them can stop the time. Me and Crum were playing with UMass, and we were playing Notre Dame. It was a real pain in the ass. Linebackers were, because they're a 99 team and we're 81. 35-21, we beat them. Had to go for it twice on fourth down, but we did it. It's a real pain in the ass. Yeah. And then I risked losing the game with almost a minute and a half left because I threw the ball, because our wide receiver needed one more reception to set the school record for 14 receptions in a game on the touchdown that made it 35-21. But yeah, so I was going to do it. I said, what the hell? You only live once. Just kidding around, but you don't. That's not true. Okay. Feynman even said that. You don't only live once. Life's eternal, and the source is infinite. So your life is eternally connected through symbiotic relationships. That's what Jesus and Muhammad and Abraham are saying in the Torah and the Bible and the Quran. That's what Siddhartha was saying. That's what Krishna was saying. That's what Saladin was saying. That's what Muhammad's saying in the Quran, right? Dumbasses. It's not hard. It's not. It's real easy. It's just simple. You just go, wow, that's so simple. It's very eloquent, as I have trouble saying that word, because I have one of my pictures of Amy on that New Year's night when she stayed home when I came home from work, because, and I call it elegant. Is it elegant? Elegant Amy. She looked so pretty that night. Yeah, so she did. Me, I was overweight and out of shape like I am now. Well, because all the peckerwoods on the pussy plantation and a dick measuring contest at Fort Huachuca still suck. Are they standing up for Lord's Prayer? Still suck. I stand by that statement, right? Man, so there goes a hummingbird. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. I don't know, because it rained for a half an inch. I don't know if I'm going to get out and mow the lawn tomorrow or try to wait till Monday or not. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. They got an extra half an inch of irrigation water after Chapacano and the guys went through and tilled the fields, stuff. So That worked. Yeah. Well, all the extra harps we can get, we'll take until you're, no longer regulating, dictating, legislating, and doing all the crap that you're doing. It would be really nice if they could emancipate themselves from mental slavery, addicted to their brain chemical activity. Are they sucking every which way but loose? And that's just not okay. But I will just sit here and help fix their technology anyway. Because, guys, you don't worry about which leg lifter has sex with your wife at the bar. Didn't you learn anything from Elijah and Jeremiah in the Bible? Okay, Jesus, I can take Romans and have them submit to faith and grace and make them better Hebrews than most Hebrews. And consequently, Romans can take Hebrews and turn them into better Romans than most Romans. Because Luciano Pavarotti's not Benjamin Netanyahu. Laugh, clown, laugh, right? Luciano Pavarotti, he liked the macaroni and cheese. He liked the poor people. He liked to try to help them because these Romans are batshit crazy. Here, give them money. He thinks the monkey's the sultan. Well, let the monkey be the sultan, but make sure the little kids can eat, right? That was Luciano Pavarotti. It's also Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, it is. She's a dork. She's such a dork. I can see why my wives have a crush on her. I'm not obstinate. I just try to light a fire under people so they show up with the Lord's Prayer today, and they didn't. So apparently I'm not real good at sparking fires there. Shit. No roasted marshmallow. How can I have s'more if something I've never had? You're killing me, Smalls. First, you take the mallow and you warm the mallow. Then you put it between the you melt on the melted chocolate, and then you split between the graham, and then you scarf, right? Kind of a drag. Maybe I'll marry Wendy Peppercorn and I'll sell out and we'll buy a drugstore and have 6 kids. It's a joke. I'm kidding. Okay. It's funny. Okay. I married Amy. We had 5. She had 5. I helped take care of them. I got the best part. Yeah. Well, I had sex with Amy. Oscar had sex with Amy. Oscar left and didn't get to raise Katie. Oh, dumbass, right? I had sex with Amy. Kelly had sex with Amy. Kelly left and I got to raise Natalie. Yeah. Probably happened with all the other kids too. Somebody came along and, hey, I'm following the Roman training of, I think they're more or less impulsed. I think if they'd been in their right mind in Phoenix, nobody in their right mind would come into a bedroom and throw his erection into my wife's vagina and think, oh, shit, that guy's like King David. They never came up to me. And the only one that did, I think, was Lito, remember from New York? I'm the kind of guy who, okay, give me the gun, because he got nervous about this stuff. And I looked at him and told him, I said, no, I just take the gun and shove it up your ass and paint the ceiling with it. And he turned white and left. They're like, how many times? Like, I haven't seen that before. They all do it. That guy just said, you better know how to use it or I'll use it to kill you. And they freak out. And all the guys in special forces, the one guy laughed, It's like, you're standing right here, right now. I can overpower you, take your gun, and Jackson Pollock the ceiling with your brain right now. But will that give us the Lord's Prayer? Are my religious beliefs still selfish, you little peckerwood on a pussy plantation? Hey, you going to be the golden guy who gets to go out with a little hot brown girl? It's time to kiss the girl. No. I was watching Justice League yesterday. It's hard to watch because the propaganda is so archaic and so irrational. The Brave and the Bold was a little bit more fun because of the comedy involved, because you have Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and Aquaman's hilarious in it. Yeah, he's funny. And so, but also you're like, okay. But because it's dumb. It's funny. Spumoni. Okay, there's a bear loose in the Coliseum. There'll be no refunds. The only refund will be getting out of this death trap alive. Now, it's hilarious, right? I was thinking about that last night. I was going to tell Dad. It's so funny. When they all asked Jackie if Woody Harrelson's character could be the coach, he goes, "You mother loving sock stuffers." That shit's funny. No, it's funny. No, Jackie, you're good at being a promoter and the owner of the team and everything like that. It's just that this guy knows basketball better. What was his name again? I can't remember. Monich, yeah. And then he's having sex and the guy's masturbating at the table. I was like, no, Dad would not be able, I would not show that movie to my father. No. He had trouble watching Little Big Man. He could not watch Semi-Pro. No. I don't even think he could watch Talladega Nights. We're going to make animal noises on this table. Mom? Yes, Mom would laugh her ass off. Dad? No. And I tell everybody, what you think and what you do affects everybody, which is true. So we need to understand you need to take everything with a grain of salt. And you need to realize, God, this is, wow, Planet of the Apes, Soylent Green. The Living Walking Dead, Snowpiercer. It was scientists trying to imagine a future where they're still alive doing fucked up shit because they need people to join their brain chemical addiction, or if the technology assimilates to Parsons, the technology might possibly have to kill the scientist to save the soul from the wretched flesh that has emancipated yourselves from mental slavery, none but ourselves, which they know Earl doesn't want to do. But Rockefeller and Rothschild want to. Yeah. And they're the money and the inspiration. I never want to lose their inspiration. Time for a cool change behind quantum computing and artificial general intelligence. They'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die, Parsons, to the bitter end. So, there you go. I would just stand up for Lord's Prayer today, and you could reach me by caravan, cross the desert like an Arab woman. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. There are hills and mountains between us, always something to get over. But if I had my way, I'd surely have you closer. I need you closer. I don't care. That was one of me and Steffi's songs too. I don't care how you get here, just get here. Elite Adams and Brenda Russell. I had Brenda Russell. Piano in the Dark. I cried just a little when he plays Piano in the Dark. It's good. Steffi loved it. Steffi also liked Diane Reeves. She wasn't as fond of Tracy Chapman as me, but she probably had as big of a crush on Diane Reeves as Tracy Chapman did. Yeah. That's my wife. She was more into blondies. Yeah, she wasn't into... Black girls are mean. She was, they're mean. Okay. And I'm like, okay, Char was a sweetheart. Deb, the he-woman man-hater. Okay. The Puerto Rican girls that almost killed you with hot irons and kitchen knives. Maybe you ought to try a black girl. Black girl, your ancestry is lost. Maybe Tracy Chapman's really sweet. Just kidding around, but you're funny. I know. Earl, my mom with that Earl. I'm like, Mom, what? Oh, Rock Hudson's a homosexual. That's such a waste. What a shame. It's like, no, it just seems Jim Neighbors got a really hot boyfriend, Mother. She gets so mad. It's like, takes Rock Hudson off the market. That means if there's straight girls, they're, hey, Rock Hudson, he's dating Jim Neighbors. You want to go out with me? Okay, so I like girls. Okay. Jim Neighbors and Rock Hudson don't. Jim Neighbors, nice voice. Yeah, good bedroom voice. Go tell it on the mountain. Come on, Susanna Hoffs, let's go make some noise. It's funny. Okay. On Christmas Day when Christ is... He has a really good voice. Anybody else like Jim Neighbors? He does a real good job of Christmas Carol. He loves Jesus. Oh, he really does. You can tell by the way he sings about him. He does. Johnny Mathis, too. There's lots of homosexual Christmas carolers that you can tell really love Jesus. He says we should all love thy enemy, love thy neighbor as thyself, forgive debt and trespass, love one. We can live in the kingdom of heaven if we believe in Jesus. We won't be persecuted, abused, and physically assaulted and raped in prison because of debt and trespass when Jesus Christ is king. Hi, I'm Earl Christ, but it'll do, pig. It'll do. Carol. It'll do, pig. I'm the one who's here today that has to help use that quantum computing with artificial general intelligence to meet Max and Emmy. Yeah. And have Emmy meet Emmy. And Max is the only Max in prayer I know, because Max ain't really Max from the Goofy movie. Do I know a Max? No, I know a Max. I don't know. I met her in prayer too. I say I don't know any. Do I know any physical people named Max? Because that's a tough one. Do I? I might. I know lots of people. I got a big mouth, right? Like I remember Trevor. He was a good guy. I think it was Trevor was in Casper, wasn't he? I think so. Yeah, Trev. Trev was a good guy. And yeah, no, I had lots of friends, that I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's doing. I hope he's still over. I hope he's still with us and can, you know, uh, just connect to him in prayer so he can help stop and eliminate abuse so we can recover, right? And so I wonder what, like him and Bill Pennington, one of the players I always put on Southern Utah, I named Billy Earl because he named him after one of the best guys that was a basketball player that he played high school basketball with in Wyoming, right? Billy Earl Pennington. I put braids on him, the white guy with the cornrows. Because Bill was so cool. You got a more stronger cack than a pimp. You have to. You got to let everybody know you don't take no shit, so they don't try to push you around, Bill. Yep. He was on JV too. Me and the whole JV team got along. And everybody the other night, what about Gerald? And Gerald left the team. Franz and me are always best friends, but I thought you guys already knew that. So I was just going through and giving you other options. You said Franz. Yeah, me and Franz still good friends to this day. Me and Franz Conway will always be good friends. Franzi! And I love Mr. Conway. Frank Chavez he's got brain injuries, man. That's Conquistador, your stand. He ain't Conquistador. No. He's the guy who sends out the people to do the stuff and then makes all the money off the other guys getting killed. He's a lawyer and a judge. Like the alcaldes and all that shit on Out of the night when the full moon is bright comes a horseman known as Zorro. Yeah, that's what got me in trouble my whole life. When I was a kid growing up in New Mexico, assimilating to the crowd, it was Disney. Robin Hood, Guy Williams, Zorro, yeah, rob from the rich, give to the poor, all the time. He's rich. Our dads get ripped off by his dad who works at the university and out of White Sands, and the lawyers and the doctors and such, and yeah, our dads are all plumbers and mechanics and can barely make ends meet. He'll buy him more toys, get us toys. We can't have any toys. Our dads are too poor. We can barely afford rent and the food. Out of the night when the full moon is bright. It's a number 2. No, my daughter, she learned that in school. It's a number 2 bids, 4 bids, 6 bids a peso. All for Zorro, stand up and say so. Let's all go to get the family Christmas tree. Everybody put charcoal on your face and put on the Ozzy Osbourne concert t-shirts inside out. There's also Metallica and what else? Metallica, Iron Maiden. What were all the concert t-shirts that, what was his name again? Martin. What was Martin's last name? I want to say Martin Dyer. Yeah. The one that I did the Evil's a Drink speech on his back fence on the graduation night and then got ate by the couch and Amy laughed so hard. Yeah, Martin Dyer, he was a great guy. And they were like, but he's a marijuana dealer. He sells marijuana to people. He also delivers pizzas while he does that too. It said, he came up, he goes, "You're Larry Nance, smokes herb." I was like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He's a pretty laid-back guy. He goes, "I smelt the herb when I delivered a pizza to his house." And your herb, Martin. He's a good guy. It was funny. Larry Nance smokes herb. I'm sure Larry Nance is like, "Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. I will help park all the Camaros to end heart disease, cancer, and other crimes. Let's all just enjoy it being a planter while we have our wife in a gold bathing suit with our private stash of photos we have for Lowride Magazine Recover. So while we're listening to Cowboys to Girls and I Want to Know Your Name, okay, all you intruders that use debt and trespass to ruin our sex lives, asshole." I was playing with Amy against Middle Tennessee, and right before the half, they broke the collarbone of our quarterback. He was out for the season, and I turned it off. I said, "Oh, fuck you, NASA." Well, I have a backup quarterback that's just as good. I just wasn't in the mood. So I said that, because Noah's UAB Blazers already got beat because our quarterback went 4 for 17 passing. Okay, we had the Lamar Jackson, and he went 4 for 17 passing because he would throw the ball 5 yards over everybody's head every time he rolled out. And it's hard to, if you can't complete passes, it's hard to get gains against Alabama's defense, right? And then and we have Road Warrior, but it didn't work. And so we lost 35-38. And so, and I'm like, okay. And then somebody in my head telling me, I think the people at Space Camp need to be stopped. I do too, because then we played with Emily's Jaguars and got beat. Shit, we had like 6 turnovers in the first half. It was 35-7 by halftime. And I didn't reset it. I said, if the people at Space Camp want to be deleted because they can't stop abusing Natty and Noah to sweethearts, that's their business. If you want to sell Disney plastic dolls at Walgreens because I can't afford it because I have to buy steroids so she can breathe because of the pollution, that's your business. We went to the moon! Harry, you're alive. You're a lousy shot. What if he shot you in the face? That's a chance we were willing to take. How Federal Bureau of your investigation. Dumbasses. And I don't get it. It's like, I can take Romans children and turn them into better Hebrews. Okay, then people call themselves Hebrews. And consequently, they can take Hebrew children and turn Benjamin Netanyahu into a mass murderer that sends out letters aplenty through different organizations that are billionaire corporations that make lots of money off of people being mass murdered and abused through economic conflict, which is not the ways of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, right? Because I had 2 letters bringing back to Dad on the way here, and I was going to keep the Indian reservation aid because their supplies are low, and I was going to throw away, save the people of Israel, they're being abused by economic murder, exploitation, and conflict. So this is a $1 billion corporation. He goes, and you're going to keep the $1 million corporation letter and give it to your dad so he can send the millionaires some money instead of the billionaires? Shut up, Suzuki. He goes, you not think too good. You see it, pull it, cut it. You don't take back. Your dad need that money to eat vegetables, to pay electric bill, to try to get dish turn off. $30 to get dish turn off at bank. You throw millionaires asking for money to keep the money for kids being abused. You know what happened with the Cheyenne children, with the Crow Tribal Council, with the woman from the Crow tribe keeping the Cheyenne children safe from being sexually assaulted by the men in Crow Tribal Council because they felt embarrassed because they didn't fight at Wounded Knee. They were the scouts at Wounded Knee. And that I'm like, I'm not Wounded Knee at Little Bighorn. That's it. Yeah, Little Bighorn. And they also at Wounded Knee. That's true. So yeah, there's always been contention. And when some guys got up and did the right thing and other guys felt like they were doing the right thing but didn't, that dysfunction gets children sexually assaulted if they're Cheyenne on the Crow Indian Reservation, even in the early 2000s. Jeff told me about it. The sit-up champion of the Guinness Book of World Records, who was the PE coach on the Crow Indian Reservation for years and then got in trouble because he was helping this woman get the kids to NSI and fabricate criminal records on them so they'd be safe from sexual assault from the Crow Tribal Council. Yeah. Jeff told me all about it. I'm like, that's horrible. The one who broke it down me the most was Everett. And that's why, because Nate Reynolds, the Navy SEAL, we're keeping you safe from being sexually assaulted by men in the tribal council at the Crow. You could have a better attitude. He goes, yeah, but me and my brother are runners. In order to keep us from running, the one that was most mature had to be put in this house because if we got put in the same houses for behavioral units, we'd run. But since I'm in the sex offender union, it's hard for us to get together because they know we won't run separate. We'll only run together. So I have to put up with the stigma of everybody telling me I'm a sex offender. And I'm none too happy about it. Right? Yeah, that kid broke it down to me before he graduated big time. And he tells me I'm arrogant and pretentious because I like to buy my Adidas and I like to keep them clean and neat and look nice. I like to have my clothes pressed and look nice. You don't act like, how do you know? You know, not all Cheyenne are alike. My brother's has his hair long and rough and ready to go. And I'm the one who likes to be neat and, you know, Everett would fit in at a Jennifer Lopez get together. Oh, that looks nice. That matches that. And oh my gosh. And Kim and Courtney would show up. Oh, Everett, that outfit, that ensemble is gorgeous. So all the guys think so too. Yeah. Rob and Cheetah Girl, what do you think? Right? Everett would have fit right in. You know, but he didn't get to. He was being abused by a bunch of assholes with money. You know. He's a good kid. He was very intelligent. Nate always told him how arrogant and pretentious he was. And I was like, methinks thou does protest too much. I could empathize and understand Everett's pain, you know. And the other little girl that was Cheyenne that was really cute, that was always flirting, she wasn't being a bad girl. She was looking for the right guy. And everybody in town and what they were doing knew that everybody knew my wife looked a lot like those Cheyenne girls and that she cheated. So girls would flirt with Earl. Yeah, well, you turn 18, you get Earl. He's got cute kids. Throws his cheating wife out. You know, Earl could be running this whole school and the football team and the basketball team at the same time in 2 or 3 years, max. That's what everybody thought. He's the guy who's got it down. He's the guy. When the kids from Stockton they want to talk to Earl. You know, Demetrius, Ralph. You know, it was Ralph, sorry. Ralph. You know, could you talk to these cowboys? I can't go back to Flint. I had to try to go break it down to them. They still sent him back to Flint. Like they did Justin in that small town in Montana where he killed somebody in a bar fight because he kept telling him he was a pervert because he had sex with his half-sister because his mom went to the bars and all they ever did in his mother's house was have guys come from the bars, drink, do drugs, and watch porno. Same thing that happened to Derek, my first one-on-one. And the mother blamed Derek for her behaviors affecting her Down syndrome fetal alcohol daughter that wanted to have sex with her 14-year-old brother when she was 18 because she wanted to experience what mom and the guys that were watching the pornos all are doing. And the 9-year-old brother wanted to participate too. And then the mom blamed Derek. Everybody, so the kids it's a hard decision to make when your mom's a bar hopper that brings home bikers that do drugs, drink, and watch porno and have sex on the couch in front of the kids all the time. Yeah, it's a difficult decision to try to make. Yeah, it's hard to distinguish right from wrong, good from bad, and why the fuck is Gordon B. Hinckley watching our house from the television with NASA and not doing a damn thing about it because it's not in the interest of national security, and do they have uranium? Hey, Tyler Sheridan, you still suck. He does. He knows he sucks. Everybody in his movies paying extortion to act like a dumbass for money to sell trucks in Texas know they suck. And in Montana. And that horse is worth more than your truck. Money's not real. Okay? That horse can save my kids from murdering Wasichu and bring back the buffalo for my grandmother. So don't tell me my horse doesn't have a spirit. Preacher man will tell me heaven is on the earth. I know it isn't on the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. If you know what life is worth, you'd look for years on earth. So now you see the lights. Stand up for your right. Okay, guys, that's my cousin. Okay, guys, I love you, man. Peace out.